Hi, it's Carol, nurse and wellness specialist, here today with our Red Cup Cafe coffee talk. And we're talking about what it's like to prepare for retirement as a nurse and what that might be feeling inside, what kind of feelings that you might have about that. And I know that it can be a challenge to even contemplate retiring because we are doers and busy and we like to help people. And the idea of not doing that anymore is daunting. It can be. Now, I will say some nurses have been already prepared and have gotten other things going that they can't wait to get out and explore that thing they've been wanting to explore forever and couldn't because they were working full time. But there are also those of us who are like, I never really paid attention to what it would be like if I were retired because I'm too busy to think about it. So, you put it on the back burner and then one day it happens and you're like, what? How did that happen? When did that happen? I'm not ready. I don't know what to do. What does this mean to me as a person? So there's a whole lot of emotions tied in with making that shift out of healthcare into being on your own and having free time and all the wonderful things that come with that. But if we're not prepared for it, it can be absolutely very uncomfortable. It reminds me kind of like when you go on vacation, and hopefully you do, and you find yourself so darn restless you can't calm down, right? You can't relax. You can't just sit on the dock and look at the lake. You just can't calm down. And then at the end of the vacation, when you're ready to go back home, you might have already achieved the calmness that you wanted. And now you're like, I don't want to, now is when I want to begin my vacation, right? So there is that phase that we go through where we have to unwind and slow down and get ourselves back on track comfortably so that we can manage. And so there is that transition that's going to happen. It has no choice because you can't go from top speed to no speed and expect not to have some challenges with that. So I have been asking nurses what are some of their questions, and this is all about what one of these questions was. This is from a nurse, and she's saying, with that current nursing shortage, she's feeling guilty because she's there and has the skills and is doing the work and now, and there's a high demand for her, and yet she's going to step away from that and she's feeling guilty about that. And so she's like feeling like she's abandoning her profession and her colleagues that she works alongside during this critical time. I get that. I know how that feels because I even remember an experience when I did make a shift in my nursing career into more of an educator and wellness advocate and helping people stay well. And I was at a conference of health educators and nurses, and I was talking to this PhD nurse, and I was saying, I'm not really a nurse anymore. I'm a health educator. And she says, Carol, you're always a nurse. We are always a nurse. And she said, all you're doing is shifting your role into a different area. And that is prevention and education and coaching and all those things. But you're still a nurse. You still bring the skills, the background, the ability to understand the human being and how they operate. You have that. You're a nurse. You're not a nurse. That's what I'm saying. So even as you go into your retirement, you're still a nurse. I know. It's hard. Trust me, it's our identity. And when you get out and people know you're a nurse, and even if you're retired, they're still coming to you for advice and ideas and support, aren't they? So it's just our identity. It's our MO. So what do you do about this feeling of abandoning your profession and your patients and your peers? And so I look at it as, think in terms of how can I still give? How can I still give back? And the other thing you're going to notice, and I've noticed this in myself, is that you get into a phase of your life where you want to give back. You have this desire, what can I do to give back? It seems to be what happens when we get into this zone of life called retirement, or third act, I call it. And so if you understand that this is now a new phase that is a normal, natural phase for you to be in, is that giving back part, the mentoring part, the supportive of others, the bringing people up part, all of that. If you can understand that that is where you belong now, then you can reframe those feelings of abandonment that you feel about leaving behind and saying, now I have an opportunity to do things to give back. And so maybe for me, it was retooling and getting into more of wellness orientation. And that gave me a new beginning, and I have a wellness business, and I love that. And it's all because I started out as a nurse, and now that is the next evolution for me. And so the other thing you can think about is that there's a lot of nurses out there that are overly stressed and they're frustrated, and you know because you're in it or you have been in it. And how can you mentor them? How can you support them? They're burned out. What can you do for them and still be involved then? You're not leaving and feeling guilty. You're becoming a part of solution to help them. So that'd be another way that you can manage that, is just to reframe it. I now need to focus on this phase of my life, which is going to help those folks that I left behind. I'm going to support them with skills that I'm going to learn about how to deal with burnout. So that'd be a good thing you could do. There's always the mentoring, the volunteering. There are so many opportunities for you. People, when you get into this zone, are asking for help too. In fact, I did discover the other day that there's a group that is volunteering. Many of them are nurses. They're volunteering to spread the word about CPR and AIDs and all of that into the community. And they're doing it on their own time and dollar, but they're spreading that health and prevention message and the support when there's an emergency to help people be able to react. And I said to myself, I really wanted to join another group that I could volunteer at. And when I heard about this, and it took me back to my past, because in my past, I was a CPR coordinator and trainer, and I wrote a book on CPR, and I thought, I might be perfect for them. Plus, my focus is on prevention. And that is part of that whole scenario of, we don't just teach CPR and revive someone. We try to help people not get into that situation and prevent the situation from happening. So that, again, look at this. I'm happy. I love the fact that I have another new opportunity for me here in this third act, in this retirement zone. So think about that now. Try to release that feeling of abandonment and say, now that I'm now in this new zone, how can I continue to be supportive and help them and guide them if they need? Because I now am an expert. I have the skills, the wisdom. I'm there for them now in a different way. So hopefully that was useful for you today. Keep sending me your questions. You can reach me at carol@carolebert.com, email, or my website, carolebert.com. There's a free gift for retiring nurses on there. Check the menu. And also you can text me, 507-313-4515. I would love to be supportive of you. If there's anything you need from me, message me anytime. We're in it together. And so I hope to see you next time at our Coffee Talk Live.